Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Let's make some candied yams. So I've got my yams ready to go to whole roast on a sheet tray with some foil, because when we roast them, they are going to ooze a little bit. You don't want to get that sticky stuff all over your oven. And speaking of ovens, I've got mine set to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. So what we're going to do is pretty simple. We're going to take a fork and we're going to prick our yams. And what that's going to do is prevent them from exploding, because as they cook, the water content is going to expand into steam, and steam takes up more space than water, and so they would explode. We don't want that. So just take a fork. Obviously these are very hard, so just as long as you're getting through the skin, that's good. Just a few pricks all over. Not too many, but just to give the steam somewhere to go. And then what we're gonna do is just roast these guys, and then once they're roasted, we're going to double stuff them with all of the great candied yam flavors. So they've been pricked all over, and now we're just gonna give them a little bit of seasoning. So some olive oil as a fat to start caramelizations, and just give them a little drizzle. And I'm just gonna use one hand to rub that all over, because I'm going to use my clean hand to season with salt. So yes, this is a little awkward, but I promise you it is the right technique. So they're now covered in oil, not too much, just enough to help the roasting. And I'm just going to do the same thing with the salt, just massaging it in a little bit as I turn it. This is going to help the skins get really nice and crispy. All right, so season, season, season. Nice. And these are gonna go straight into the oven at 400 for about an hour, or until you can poke them with a fork really easily. So in they go. Okay, our yams are out of the oven. I've cut them in half just to let them start to cool down a little bit, because you're essentially going to peel them now and add the flesh to a bowl, which I've also started doing. And we've got a bunch of yams here, so I wanted to get started. So I've cut all the yams in half, and now I'm just gonna peel the skin right off. Super easy. These yams smell amazing. Get rid of all that skin. We don't want you. In this dish, at least. The skin is delicious though, so if you want, save the skins, stuff them with your candied yams. That sounds delicious, actually. All right, skin off. Okay, so our skin is off, and now let's add all the rest of our ingredients. Let's get this out of the way. And side note, I do have a broiler heating, so we get some nice deliciousness going on top. But for now, we've got our yams, and we've got some butter. We've got some brown sugar. I've got some heavy cream. I'm going to do a pinch of salt. I've also got a tablespoon of some homemade pumpkin spice here. This recipe is included in your recipes, so go for it or buy some if you prefer. And for a little bit of texture, I've got some chopped pecans. This is what I like. If you don't like nuts, don't worry about it. And all of that in with the yams. And we're just gonna give that a mash with our whisk. And we're gonna mix it all together. And then we're gonna put this into a baking dish and back into the oven to finish cooking. Get that butter all melted in there to our warm yams. All right, now got my baking dish. I'm just gonna transfer that all in there. All right, now at this point, you can top it with some marshmallows if that's how you like your yams on Thanksgiving. You could dot it with some more butter and sprinkle some more sugar over the top to get sort of a crust going. But I think we've got, at least in my opinion, which I never say this, but I'll say it now, I think we've actually got enough butter and heavy cream in this meal altogether. Just put this in as is. So let's do it. Okay, our yams are ready. They smell amazing. Honestly, you might be off pumpkin pie after this because these yams are delicious. They're a little bit crispy on top, but with the nuts and the baking spices, this is going to be your new favorite yam dish. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone!